What's something unconventional everyone should try out? Go on meetup.com, find a group founded on something you like or something you've always wanted to try, and go to it. I never played a sport in my life, then I ended a long relationship and was just desperate to try something new. So I got on Meetup and picked a random thing happening nearby, which was an open gym for foam dodgeball. A year later, I have played 5 seasons on the local league, won a first place medal, and made a diverse group of friends. Traveling alone. Pick a place you've always wanted to go and just go there and do whatever the heck you want to do. It's really freeing and people will think you're awesome. Floating in a sensory deprivation tank. Trust me, I back this up. Did 2 times. The first one, I was so anxious in how it was going to be that you overthink, and in a certain point your head turns off completely. It's like a light switch. The second time, I knew what was going on, so I was pre-relaxed, so it kinda reinforced my relaxed state of mind. Sounds small, but you'd be surprised what it does to enhance your life. Once a week while I am grocery shopping, I tell myself I need to buy something I've never tried before. I do the same wine and beer shopping when I do it. I'd say about half the things I consume now on regular basis and love I got just because I forced myself. That's how I found out baklava is okay. Any food you're not used to. Seriously, I used to be a picky eater, and now I try everything offered to me. 9/10 things are delicious and awesome. You're missing out if you don't try new food. You feel embarrassed in front of your friends, and all because what? You're scared of something tasting bad? I've been 99/100 on trying new foods. That one was when I bought some seaweed snacks. That crap was awful. Sitting down in the shower, not for getting clean, but for clearing your head. Honestly, I saw it on one of these sorts of threads on Reddit a while back and tried it out. Just sitting there with warm water washing over you is amazingly calming. I do this when I'm hungover or sick. I also have a shower head that has a Bluetooth speaker in it. Such a game changer. Go out for a slow walk without a destination at 3-6 am on a summer night, especially in a rural area. It's so quiet and peaceful. I prefer biking simply because you can cover more ground and having all the roads completely to yourself to do as you please on is really liberating. A Parmesan and dark chocolate grilled cheese. But it has to be the block Parmesan, not the kind you shake in your pizza. Sitting or possibly even laying down in the shower. Also beer. Shower beer is a must. No, the beer has been replaced with an orange now. I know I'm so late this is going to get buried, but there's these tablets made from a fruit by the name of Syncephalum dulcificum, though it usually gets called miracle berry. It has a chemical in it that will coat your tongue, and for the next hour or so until it washes off anything acidic you taste will taste sweet instead. It's interesting. Made me realize just how much I appreciate sour tastes, but it's also a good reminder that life is subjective. Everything we perceive is filtered through our brains. The lemon is still a lemon, but it sure doesn't taste sour anymore. Meditation. You need to give it long enough to get in the practice a bit and may need to try a few different styles to find which works for you, but it's a life changer. I guess it's not unconventional to most people, but do your grocery shopping in small ethnic markets if you live near one instead of big grocery stores. They're usually a lot cheaper, and along with the staples you'll find anywhere you can also get stuff you'd never even think to try. I bought some noodles in the Chinese quarter of my city before, and even though they were just standard cheap ones, they taste infinitely nicer than super noodles or the likes. Dungeons and Dragons. Imagine as if you were a character in a video game, with complete control over their decisions and actions, but instead of playing through a campaign that is pre-written, your decisions influence the direction that the story takes. It's like you are and your friends are the heroes of a novel, except you play a crucial part in writing the story itself. However, every party needs a dungeon master, DM, to tell the story, control NPCs and enemies, and build the world in which the story takes place. It's a great way to let your creativity flow and design challenges, characters, and a world for your friends to explore. I would love to try D&D, however I am an adult and don't know anyone who plays. Always thought it was cool, but never admitted it in school because nerd. Going to a nude beach. It is actually really chilled and liberating. You feel very self-conscious at first, but then you realize nobody cares and you are free of the shackles of society. Dude, but what if you get a boner? Years ago I figured out this life-improving gem. Don't use gas station bathrooms when on a trip. Instead go into nice hotels and use the lobby bathroom. Hotel guests always use the one in their room, so the lobby bathrooms are always perfectly clean and private. Some are insanely luxurious too. When I was younger I would sometimes grab a free coffee and a bagel on my way out too, and nobody ever said a word about it. Free diving. Not just holding your breath and swimming around, but actually taking a class and learning the techniques. Free diving forces you to get over the panicky feeling of drowning and your body's contractions. Crap makes other problems or fears you have seem pretty mild. As a bonus, you can now swim with the fishes without all the bulky scuba stuff. Mixing mayonnaise and ketchup for fries, or mustard. 2. I got horribly bullied in elementary school for doing this in the cafeteria. Oh well, it was awesome and still is. Dude, it's called fry sauce. Move to Utah. You can get the same concoction at restaurants and sold in grocery stores. It's awesome and totally normal. Cold showers. Here's the recipe. Don't start out when you're already feeling cold. Start warm, or better yet, hot and sweaty after a run or something. Get naked and get in the shower. Point the shower head and turn the cold water on as high as it will go. Do not touch the hot water knob. Look at the water and commit yourself to standing in it. Really wrap your mind around the idea that you're going to step right into the water and just freaking bear it. Every muscle in your body will tense. Your balls, if applicable, will run for shelter. You may not be able to speak, but you're going to bear it. Unless you live somewhere weird and don't have properly cold water, what will happen is this. It'll feel like you've stepped into a vat of ice. Your whole body will tense and you'll start breathing real heavily. You'll get a decent hit of adrenaline. It'll be hard to move, but if you stay in for 30 seconds or a minute or so, something weird happens. Suddenly the water won't feel cold. It'll feel warm. You won't be breathing as heavily. You'll find you can relax your muscles. It will actually, somehow, feel comfortable. When you get out, your skin will be bright pink. If you're white, the air will feel warm, and you'll feel very awake and alive and full of energy. It takes a frick of a lot of willpower, but it really is the crap, and it's basically free. Ultimate Frisbee. I hadn't heard of it until I went to uni. I'm in the UK and I signed up for it with a flatmate. It's really good and people just underestimate it because people just see it as throwing a disc around in a park. Going to a Wendy's restaurant. An American fast food restaurant. I don't know how prevalent Wendy's is in other countries. And dip your fries and chicken nuggets in a chocolate frosty. It sounds gross, but it will change your life forever and you will never eat Wendy's the same way again. Spicy nuggets in a chocolate frosty is the greatest combination ever. I don't know if it has been said yet or not, but geocaching. Every time I go, it's a new adventure. You can see awesome sights you probably would never ever see otherwise. It helps you think outside the box and helps give you a better sense of direction. I love wandering around the woods for hours looking for Tupperware full of plastic toys. It's worth mentioning that there are a lot of people who just will not get the appeal of geocaching. I don't do it, but my parents do, and I see it as an objective-based way of hiking. Some people just don't enjoy hiking or outdoor exploring. I'm one of them. However, adding the focused, specific objective can gamify it in a way that makes it much more appealing for people to get out. Walking around barefoot. It's really not as dangerous as a lot of people make it out to be and it feels awesome. I only do it rarely, but I generally enjoy the feeling of walking around campus actually feeling the different types of pavement. No. Finally my username is relevant and you stole my chance. Try lucid dreaming. It may take a bit of practice, but the feeling you get when you realize that you are in a dream is amazing. Ever wanted to fly or walk around a world reminiscent of Alice in Wonderland? You can when you go lucid. I'd love to do this, but I'm just too scared that I'll accidentally make myself get sleep paralysis. Go online and pretend to be a member of the opposite sex. Even for a day. Try and talk with people of your own gender and see how it turns out. It is a real eye-opener for perspective on how people interact. I'm a girl. This is every day on Reddit for me. Most people just assume I'm a guy. If you can get your hands on one, try showering with a strobe light. You're surrounded by millions of tiny sparkling globes of water floating in the air. Pretty trippy. Not so unconventional, I guess, though it still is a comparatively uncommon activity for people to participate in: weightlifting. The feeling of being strong, having your muscles flowing with blood, the burn of lactic acid build-up, and knowing that you can just pick up heavy crap at a moment's notice. It's a powerful feeling that you can never, ever imagine until you've done it. Shrooms. I am very serious. It's totally taboo and it scares people. I was always told growing up that if you smoke pot or eat shrooms it will have the same effect of age, that you will die on the first try. After all, that's why H addicts exist, right? But seriously, I tried it because I like to experience things for myself, to see how my body and mind can handle things. Shrooms opened a window for me to create and accept. I wrote music, went on adventures and made memories. It's a good one-time thing or whatever if you're not sure. I wasn't sure at first. I thought I would die from a few caps. I just got beamed and enjoyed my life so much more. I have really bad depression and it literally vanished the whole 5 hours I was on it. I do it every 6 months or so. It's quite the experience. Apparently I must be a freaking idiot deep down, because when I tried drugs like that, I mostly just talked to inanimate objects or laughed hysterically at everything. The last time I tripped, I had a long conversation with a curator. Being alone, completely alone, like get in your car in the middle of the night and drive somewhere without anyone in a 1 kilometer radius. Lie down, look at the stars, or sit and think. It's funny. At first you'll be uncomfortable, but after some time it really clears your mind. You're never alone. Degrees. Filling your stomach with popcorn kernels before cremation is an increasingly popular choice for people looking to give back to the hungry. While this can be a fun way to add a little pizzazz, you will want to take a couple of precautions before you begin. 1. Cover the popcorn kernels in an enteric coating to keep them from dissolving inside of your stomach. Kernels need to be very dry to become popcorn, and you'll want to keep them safe. 2. Place a swab of cotton inside of your buttocks to avoid any post-mortem loss due to defecation. 3. Avoid dying of disease or other causes that could create a health risk for the popcorn. For best results, try rushing into a burning orphanage and allowing yourself to catch fire after rescuing the last child. If you followed all of these steps carefully, you should now be exploding into a shower of organs and popcorn. Congratulations on your helpful charity work. Sometimes when my wife is monopolizing the bathroom before bed, I'll go outside and take a pee off the back deck. There is something very gratifying about pee from up high, beneath the moon and stars, creating a perfect arc. LSD and/or mushrooms. Really, they helped me out of a terrible depression and allowed me to turn my life in the direction I wanted. Travel to another country, especially if the culture puts you out of your comfort zone. It's sad how few people have the desire to do this. Nice try, Somalia. Meditation. There's a lot of different things that could be considered meditation. Different cultures, religions utilize and define it in different ways. The way I define and use meditation is not particularly spiritual, but it does involve a certain existential experience. Meditation, for me, is when I clear my mind completely and observe my surroundings either in silence or with music. Anything that's residing in the back of my mind, responsibilities, plans, ideas, all thoughts are out. I completely shut off my inner voice. For me, this is only possible if I have something to perceive without fully processing, something aesthetically pleasing or an activity that can rely solely on muscle memory. I'll look at the sky, the trees, or the bricks on a building, really anything that I can look at without conjuring some sort of emotion or thought. Trees look really amazing when I'm meditating. Leaves, clouds, dirt, everything is so incredibly beautiful without a train of associations and thoughts taking over. Sometimes this will last 5 minutes and sometimes it can go for an hour. Really helps me deal with stress. Maple syrup on a burger, cinnamon and sugar on fried eggs. cheddar cheese on a blueberry or cinnamon raisin bagel, toasted or nuked. Vanilla ice cream with powdered lavender mixed in is freaking delicious. McCormick sells dried lavender in a bottle. Beer float. Honey ales work particularly well. Balsamic vinegar on fresh, sliced strawberries. Seriously. ASMR videos. Ever get that tingly head feeling? Like relaxing and clearing your mind? Go check out ASMR videos on YouTube. Try a few and see what works for you. Ziplining. It's such an exhilarating experience, and you don't need to go to some huge mountain or exotic locale to do it. I went ziplining in Virginia. We hiked up a hill and ziplined back down, and it was the closest thing to flying I've ever experienced. Freaking vote. You'd be surprised how your voice gets heard when you actually take your butt to the voting booth. 1. Register to vote. 2. Actually vote. If you don't vote, you really have no reason to be about how fricked up things are. This thread makes me want to start a restaurant and create my menu using variations of all these different food suggestions. That would be awesome. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.